Travis Wayne Gizzo. So, with this RSV virus, respiratory virus, it's whenever I'm in a reclining position or when I doze off, my esophagus just shuts off my air and I can't breathe. And hopefully I cough, but there are times where I'm not coughing and I have to force a cough manually. Pretty serious stuff. And if you've been watching my channel, you've been aware that the church is upset with my videos. They're upset with the lawsuits. They're upset with the complaints, the tips to the FBI, Department of Justice. And they are clearly retaliating, using Mormons who are compromised to do their dirty work for them, where Nelson will not fight me himself. He won't bring the gun to the shelter to try to assassinate me. Instead, he has people hired, paid to get it done down through the chain of command, which is a RICO violation, which you'd think the FBI would be able to pick up on and prosecute. Nonetheless, the church does this kind of thing not just to threaten me to be silent, to stop posting my scientific research, the anthropology of the ancient Middle East, that shows Joseph Smith was a completely different religion than what the current church is telling us it was. And it also is designed for you guys as I'm posting videos, which you'd think, therefore, that the YouTube employee would therefore allow me to post my videos to show everyone how much you do not dare to molest or make afraid the church. And that my example is supposed to scare the rest of you into being silent and complicit and conform to the church. And if you're ex-Mormon, to get back into the church, because the church is coming for you. They'll do it to you too. And the church has done this to other people. They've set them up and framed them and falsely accused them and done similar threats. There was a lawyer who defended a Mormon, and she's like from the East Coast, and she had found my website where I was talking about the problems I'm dealing with at the church and the lawsuit that I was filing at the time. And she commented a warning that the church will retaliate against me and that they will come after me and destroy me. That it's a pretty serious thing. And she had then told about her story, about her being hired to sue the church, but then the church came after her and destroyed her career, destroyed her practice, and all for doing her job. That shouldn't have to happen, as the sex therapist for the church in Colorado, I think it was Colorado, wasn't it? Was that another state? Maybe it was Kansas. Was it McKinsey lady? I can't remember now. But she was a psychologist. The church wanted her to teach Mormon doctrine to her clients. And she can't do that, even though psychology is a fake science and a fraud. Nonetheless, the church was using psychology as a weapon to get those who they disapprove of to conform and to comply to the church's standards and values. And so you can see, therefore, that the previous things that the church was involved with, likewise, was being used for the church's position, not for the independent practice of the particular field. And so you've got the hospital that they had. They quit that. They had the adoption agency. They quit that because of gay marriage that came about. They didn't want to give Mormon babies, or broken home Mormon babies, to a gay couple. And so they got out of it. And this is why they're pushing to be exempt from the law, so that they can bring back some of these things and deny services to those who they oppose, as well as government officials whom they compromise to protect the church. Not just Mormons who are going around threatening people to leave the church alone, or they'll be mean to you and bully you and cause harm. And all this is threatening behavior unbecoming of a religion claiming that love is the focus of their religion. If they were really true, if Jesus were really telling them what to do, despite Constantine creating Jesus, but nonetheless, if they honestly believed what they taught, they wouldn't be doing any of this. They would stand on their own merits, stand by their own examples in the community. They wouldn't be putting up a front of saying, hey, we just gave millions of dollars to the homeless shelters, and then anybody who does investigative research, which is only me, finds out that the church is actually profiting off of the homeless instead. That the donated money was an investment to make money. They're using this as a business opportunity. And so, yeah, it's disappointing that the press will not investigate the church, because there's a lot of crimes to investigate. There's a lot of illegal activity to investigate. There's a lot from the past to the current, and the press will not do it. When Brad Wilcox had his scandal, immediately shut down because the church silenced everybody. Australia had their scandal, the church came in, silenced that scandal. Then it was brought up by their 60 Minutes equivalent. But Canada, likewise, has that same problem with the church. But the church is so powerful, it's so wealthy, that they're able to silence a whole nation, a whole government, a whole corporation, to back off and not mess with them, to not expose them. And even foreign governments, as two examples that I gave. This is scary. This is not some true church of love and doing good to mankind. This is an all-out authoritarian regime seeking to dictate everybody's life. And that's frightening. That Mormons can't see that, because Mormons instead are following the example of their leaders and are incited to violence and hate. And it's unfortunate that ex-Mormons can't call the spade that it is. They have to call the spade something else that they can also balance with their disapproval of the church and why they left the church. Nobody will stand up to them like I am. And that's unfortunate that the church has so much power when they don't. I have seen them face to face. They're just like us. They're weak, they're frail, they're old. I was at the Super Smiths downtown after I had been freed from my 6-year incarceration by the church. They had ordered it and paid for it. I had the receipt. I've done the videos. And there he was, going shopping while I was there for the first time as well. And so I was lost, he was lost. And the floor clerk saw the two of us and chose to help him. I wonder why. But I then saw him later on down at the lower level, still lost, looking for things. But he had given me a dirty look, as if I was supposed to help him. And when I saw him again at the Salt Lake Temple, as I was going through for initiatories or a sealing, not a sealing, well, there were times I did, but it was mostly initiatories or an endowment. He would be at the front desk where you get your family cards printed off. His wife apparently does the research, produces the cards. He then takes them and gets them printed. And she fell victim to the trap of not checking. And so she was able to produce large masses of cards. And he dropped some. And he had other people around him and all wanting attention from him. And I don't know if he dropped them on purpose to get rid of them or what, but regardless, he went and picked it up. I waited, backed off, stay out of his way. I didn't want to interfere with trying to help pick up the cards. There wasn't many to pick up. And so while he was down picking up the last of the cards, he looked up at me and then gave an evil scowl again. Now, other people have said that he's got a great memory for faces. He remembers people. And it's possible that he remembered my face at the Super Smiths. But it was clear he did not like me. There's no reason for it. I haven't done anything to him. You know, it was just his expectation that I'm supposed to do things for him, I guess. I had no understanding of it. I just had the pleasant smile on my face, you know, and let him do his thing. But nonetheless, I've seen others as well. Ballard coming down the hill to go to work and going back up the hill to go to work, and the sister missionaries who always bombard him and want to talk with him. Oaks going through an endowment session, and just a tiny little man, very tiny little man. Oaks, tiny little man, overcompensating for being so tiny. Shaking everybody's hand and going into the endowment session, even though I was holding it up. But yeah, there's no reason to fear these guys. They have no magic powers. There is no Jesus that's going to smite you down if you stand up to them and say no. You have no power over us. But for some reason, people are scared. They think that they're untouchable. And yeah, the security guards have guns, and they will shoot to kill. But it's very disturbing that the masses don't rise up against the church as more than they should be, more than they have. So it's unfortunate that people in businesses and in government offices and the press are terrified of the church as well. That's probably more disturbing than the regular common folk who can believe in the superstitious nonsense. But